Welcome back to another adventure with members of the Florida Powerboat Club, and this time it's the Midnight Express Owners Rendezvous, and we went off to Bimini in April with a group of about 15 Midnight Owners. This is going to be episode 2 featuring this exciting weekend, which is officially titled the Midnight Express Bimini Owners Rendezvous, the first annual edition heading from Miami over to Bimini, and everyone was so excited about going. I think it was a long time coming for the owners of Midnight Express, Eric Glazer and Harris Glazer, because so many people that buy the Midnight Express boats, they're really adventurous people. They like to get out and travel. They like going to the Florida Keys and getting over to the Bahamas. So this was the perfect opportunity, and look at how magnificent the start was. This was on a beautiful Friday morning in April, and we got very lucky with the crossing because in April we haven't really picked up those summer winds yet, and it's quite possible to get a lumpy sea, and it really wasn't that bad at all. A little bit of a chop that slowed down a few boats as we got into the middle sections of the Gulf Stream, about 25 to 30 miles offshore. But this amazing start and this money shot with that magnificent Miami skyline in the background was taken at about 8:30 a.m. on that Friday as we departed. And some of the big 43s became the front runners as we crossed over the Gulf Stream. Some of the 37s slowed their pace down to about 35 to 40 miles per hour, but not Rich Casso from Miami. He put the throttles down and plowed right through it. We pulled into Bimini shortly after 10 a.m. Everybody congregated at the Big Game Club to clear customs, and it was very well orchestrated. Everyone had their papers ready because we had a meeting earlier, like the night before, a captain's meeting, and everyone was ready. We rendezvoused with 2 other boats that came all the way from Nassau to join us in Bimini. There's Captain Jordan. So it's now fast forward to midday on Friday. We've all cleared customs. We've settled into the Resorts World Bimini, and now it's time to get out and play, and that's exactly what we're going to do as we join Chapter 2 and a few other boats that came over. So now we're up to 15 boats. These are 2 boats that came over from Boca Raton. Roger Brown in Chapter 2, another 43 Midnight Open with Quad Mercury Racing 400Rs. And on today's agenda is going out to Honeymoon Harbour so that we can play with the stingrays and feed the stingrays and have that experience that really is all a part of what hanging out in Bimini is all about. Now let me explain what we did a little differently on this particular trip. We cleared customs at the Big Game Club, and then we headed north up to the north end of the island to actually check into the hotel and get our dock slips arranged. We wouldn't normally do that on a busy weekend because checking into the hotel early is not something you can normally do in the summer months. But remember, now it's April and it's not really that busy yet at the resort. So we were able to go up to the resort, get checked in, get our luggage into the hotel. Some of us didn't get our rooms right away, but at least we got our luggage off the boat and checked so that we had an empty boat. We were able to go out and play. It's really just a short ride heading out to Honeymoon Harbour. Once you pass North Bimini and then South Bimini, you stay on plane for about 7 or 8 miles. I think it's maybe not even that. And there it is. You pass the concrete ship, the Sapona, if you'd like, for a little scenery. And then from there, it's about another 3 or 4 miles. Easy to find. If you look on the charts, it's Gun Key is the actual island. But on the north side of Gun Key is where Honeymoon Harbour is. Now, a little bit about that. We've all been going here for as many years as I can remember. It is a very popular anchorage for all boaters coming to the Bimini area. But I can share a few important points for anybody coming in here. It is fairly shallow water, but not really for these boats. If you trim up, you can get very close to the beach. And what I often find is people anchoring way too far away from the beach. And what happens then is that they get situated, they get anchored, and then they start swimming into the beach, and there's currents, and they figure out that, wow, this is a really hard swim to get in there. And the water's over your head. So it kind of makes it difficult. So you really have to be careful to get in as close to the beach as you can. I like to get in at about maybe 4.5 to 5 feet of water so you can actually touch the bottom when you get off the boat. And then it's easy to either walk or swim into the beach and get situated. So that's where you need to be to feed the stingray. So obviously a lot of careful anchoring here. Everybody knew what to do. Lines and fenders were always ready. And it's nice when you're with a bunch of boats that are identical in terms of the size, where the gunnels are lined up, the cleats are lined up, and it really makes for a very pleasant anchorage. It's just great to see these visuals again, reminding me of what a great weekend we had. And I have to remind everybody that if you do want to get your boat and go over to Bimini, going in April or May, you kind of take your chances with the weather. But if you do have a good crossing and you can get over here, there's way less people here at that time of year. So look at now, we've got 2 different rafts here of our midnight boats. If you look off in the distance, you'll see on the other side of the key maybe 4 or 5 or 6 other little boats. That's it. I mean, that's the total number of people that are here at this Honeymoon Harbour right now. And in April or May, that's how you're going to get it. And the same thing happens in the early fall. That's why we decided at the Florida Powerboat Club to do our Bimini Blast event in September every year. But let's talk about how much fun it is. And all of our friends here, I think we should start giving them all names, because I think we recognize some of these stingrays every time. We love to feed the stingrays with a little bit of squid, which I chop up about 10 pounds of squid, little pieces. We put it in little Dixie or Solo cups, give it to everybody, and you just hand feed them. They don't have teeth, so they can't really bite you, but sometimes they get a little aggressive and they can leave like a little hickey on your skin. They actually do. But you got to be careful of the nurse sharks. They're not aggressive, but they do kind of sneak up on you. You don't really see them come up because you're too busy feeding the stingrays, and then a 5-foot nurse shark kind of comes out of nowhere, and they kind of look the same if you're not paying attention. They're obviously longer and they're a little browner, but they've got teeth, and they could probably mess up a couple of your fingers if you're not careful. And watching here the Zarbatani family with their kids enjoying this stingray feeding for their very first time, for me it was amazing. I love watching people do this for the first time and see how excited and thrilled they get. And that's when I know that I've done my job properly, and I can go home with a big smile and great memories and giving these people an experience of a lifetime. Now, I do want to share one important detail about this anchorage, about this Honeymoon Harbour. I received a letter from a law firm in Fort Lauderdale saying that they represented the owners of Cat Key, which is the island further to the south. It's a private island with numerous homes and a marina. But the Owners Association decided to send us a letter saying that this Gun Key is their territory. They own that island that you're looking at right there. And they say that we, basically tourists, are not allowed to go on that island. So it's the first I've ever heard of that. They say that they're going to have security there and various people monitoring the situation. I'd like to see it happen. I really am surprised to get that letter. But I've never seen any signs posted or any uniformed people or anybody otherwise, telling us we can't stay. But just letting everybody know that that is something that could happen in the future if you're out there at Honeymoon Harbour. Let's say hi to Joe Cole and his crew in Royal Flush as we head back now to Bimini Bay Marina and Resorts World Bimini to settle in for the night. What a beautiful day it's continued to be. There's the water taxi that takes people from South Bimini over to North Bimini if you fly into town. But let's talk about this Bimini Bay Marina, because they really did a great job receiving us, and you can see that it's all a floating dock marina, very well maintained, and this is really the only marina that's left that is available for transient dockage. Now, remember that there is another marina to the south of the resort, and that's mostly for owners of the property who have slips that they purchased here over the years. But this is a transient slip marina. Normal rates, $4.50 per foot per night. I do believe that we are charged extra for electricity and for water. I'm not sure how much we use, but those are the rates here at Bimini Bay Marina, which, by the way, is managed separately from the resort. Well, we had a wonderful day, and just a quick shout out to our host, Harris Glazer, and there's our photographer, Ben, who did a great job with the drone out at Honeymoon Harbour. And just a couple of hours later, we got together on the 5th floor of the resort in this lavish ballroom, the Monkey Business Ballroom, which does make a reference to back in the day with Gary Hart when he got in trouble, I believe in the 80s, hanging out here in Bimini on his sportfish boat. So anyway, enough of that. This is the Owner's Appreciation Party, and it was a big part of the agenda that we did in the original planning stages. But what a perfect venue for the party. Everybody had a nice time. There's a balcony on both sides, actually, facing both east and west, and some of us got very comfortable out there with a cocktail in our hand. Of course, all the staff here at Resorts World Bimini did a wonderful job, but getting to meet some of the owners and their crew members and to just sort of realize how much fun they've been having on this event really made it worthwhile. Food was fantastic. I think the menu was over the top, a little bit of everything. And at some point in the evening, we got a chance to have Harris and Eric get up and address the crowd and thank everybody for joining us on this Bimini Owners Rendezvous and taking a leap of faith for the very first time. And most importantly, thank all of the Midnight Express owners for their continued loyalty by owning the Midnight Express brand and ordering new boats, as many have.
You can see now, Saturday morning now, the weather is still beautiful, but the problem is it's windy. And our plans to go to the Sapona and to go and do some snorkeling there probably aren't going to work that well with the winds being out of the southeast. So we decided the best thing we could do is, first of all, spend a little time this morning and go for a golf cart ride into town to show you around a little bit. So for those of you who've never been into the village of Bimini, this is a good way to do it. Get a golf cart and go for a ride. Check out the various little villages along the way. We're going to go through Porgy Bay and Bailey Town, and of course Alice Town. That's the main village right where we cleared customs when we came in.
Planting my corn and my peas and my sweet potato, nothing sweeter than Bahamian thing. Whoa, na na na, yeah, na na na. I remember when things were better back then. You didn't have to worry at all but locking your door. Everyone was like your neighbor. Take care of your son and your daughter. We had no beds. So
I'm Scuba Taxi, boom boom, of Bimini, Bahamas. And we hope to see you here. We love you.
With the lantern till late at night, telling them old time stories like a bookie and a Robbie, and sleep to your heart's content till the morning light. My Bahamian thing,
growing up on the island,
catching my fish with my bait and my line.
growing up on the island,
Sitting on the rock, everything is fine.
growing up on the
Planting
island,
my corn and my peas and my sweet potato, nothing sweeter than Bahamian thing. Oh, living the life was so carefree. Sitting on the porch with your family, talking and laughing till the break of day. Oh man, I say. Oh, my Bahamian thing, growing up on the island, catching the fish with my bait and my line.
growing up on the island,
Sitting on the rock, everything is fine.
growing up on the
Planting
island,
my corn and my peas and my sweet potato, nothing sweeter than Bahamian thing. My Bahamian thing, growing up,
on the island,
catching my fish with my bait and my line.
growing up on
Oh
the
man,
island,
I'm sitting on the rock, everything is fine.
growing up on the
Planting my
island,
corn and my peas and my sweet potato, nothing sweeter than Bahamian thing. Nothing sweeter than Bahamian thing. I say ain't nothing sweeter.
I think it's important for everybody to get out on a golf cart and do a tour all the way through town, down to Alice Town, and meet some of the locals and just find out how charming these Biminites are. Wonderful people, making it a pleasant visit every time. But very sharp contrast to what we saw in Alice Town and Bailey Town now that we're back on the property here at Resorts World Bimini, which many people are not aware has really been in development for 2 decades. It all began many years ago when the Capo family from the Eldorado furniture chain decided to develop the island and bought all this property on the north end of Bimini and started building homes and townhomes and mega marinas, the huge marinas and commercial buildings. And the big plan was to eventually get a casino and turn it into the resort that it now is. But that all took a long time, and I think that with the Resorts World Bimini people coming on board about 5 or 6 years ago and actually finishing the casino and building the Hilton, That's what truly opened the door to boaters wanting to come over from Florida to enjoy this destination. And even though, there were properties you could rent prior to that through the Bimini Bay Resort and condos and homes and such, they weren't really managed very well. But this has really changed the whole dynamic, and this makes it more attractive to us as boaters and boating groups to come over here. But it's important that guests understand, as we look here at this lavish pool by the Mega Yacht Marina, that there are some restrictions to guests at the Resorts World Hilton in terms of what facilities or amenities you can use on the island. But as a 30-year veteran of doing these events and coming to Bimini, I think that it's about as good as it gets right now, the way they've got it set up, and we're very happy to come here whenever we can. So now that we've had our fun touring around the island, it's time to go out and enjoy the local waterways, with some limitations today because of the wind. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we had planned to go snorkeling at the Sapona Shipwreck, but it's far too windy to make that enjoyable. So we're going to go around on the back side, or the lee side of the island, which is North Bimini, where there's a fabulous beach. It's about 3 miles long. So that's at least something that we can do on the boat. So it's time to get the boats prepped and cleaned up and get the coolers stocked up. And of course, we're going to be doing a little swimming today too. So that's the idea. Let's face it, when you come all the way to Bimini in a beautiful Midnight Express, you want to get out and enjoy the boat. And this is going to be the best way to enjoy our Saturday here in Bimini. Well, we've been having a great day. Friday was awesome, Ty. We came across in relatively smooth conditions. Sunny, light breeze. Customs went off like clockwork. I gotta say, yesterday, for all the times I've done this, the fact that we had all the paperwork prepared made it smooth for everybody. Then we got a chance to check into the hotel, spend a little time here on property at the Hilton, Resorts World Hilton. And then we got out and did the stingray feeding at Honeymoon Harbour. So a great day overall.
Amazing day.
This is, I think, a pretty great opportunity for you guys at Midnight, because you're sales consultant there. You've worked there for as long as I can remember, but it seems like this is a great event for getting everybody together.
It's really great because we get to know our clients on a personal level, and it's fun. We're out here just having fun. We're not in the office trying to sell them anything. We're out here just enjoying ourselves and having fun.
And it seems like the Midnight Express owners are going easy on you guys too, because I'm sure that they want to talk to you about their next boat, or some repairs or some service work on their existing boat. I'm sure that they would want to talk about their boats all day, but they seem like they're letting their hair down a little and they're just enjoying this for what it is.
Absolutely. They're here just to have fun.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the product. We won't do a lot of that, but I got to say, these 43s are really taking, I think, our sport by storm. We see them on a lot of the poker runs, but watching all these 43s run over here yesterday and running on one that I did, we averaged about 52, 55 miles an hour. And then when we got close to the island, we opened things up. We're running 65, close to 70. We had 10 people on the boat. We had full fuel, 600 gallons. We had all their luggage. We had all kinds of gear, and we were just cruising right along. Probably maxed out at about 19,000 pounds. But what a machine.
Yeah, and that's what's so amazing when we take people out on the 43. It is absolutely the best running boat in its class, bar none. I mean, there's nothing like it, and that's why all these people buy the boat, because they really use it. They're not just going to sandbars and staying close to shore. They island hop with these, and that's what's amazing. You can do it.
Well, today we're going to do that, staying close to shore. We're going to go up to the sandbar North Beach, waiting for our captain to get here. But I think this time of day, just a little after 1 o'clock, we still have about 6-7 hours of daylight. So let's get out and have some fun.
Absolutely. Amazing. Can't wait.
All right. We've got Americans, we've got Canadians all over the place. I discovered a few days ago that Sean Zarbatani, who hails from Montreal, is now in Fort Lauderdale and the proud owner of a Midnight Express 43, which ran great yesterday. And what I liked about your situation here is that you made your team a family team. You've got 2 little kids, you've got another couple on board, with a little son. So you got 3 kids, 4 adults on the boat, and you made it work.
Oh, absolutely. And that was the whole point of it. You know, buying the boat is a family acquisition and not just for me. So otherwise I'd be on the golf course and they'd be at the beach.
Exactly.
So.
Well, you guys looked like you had fun yesterday. You've got the big floating mattress to put out. We're going to go to the beach today and we're going to use that baby.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic. And then yesterday feeding the stingrays and the sharks. And I mean, this is just incredible for the kids. I mean, we're building memories for them, and thanks to Florida Powerboat Club.
Thank you.
It's fantastic.
Now, tell us about your Midnight, because I know that you told me you've had it for what? You just got it recently, right?
So,
about a year ago?
No. I just got it for this trip.
You just got it.
I had a 37.
That's right.
And we were in a mix of trading up, and I said, I'll only do it if you deliver the boat for the trip.
Oh, that's great.
So actually, I got it last week, but I went back into Midnight. They finalized all the items on the punch lists on the boat, and they delivered at 4 o'clock on Thursday.
Oh, here you are. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you very
I didn't
much.
realize
Thank
that it
you.
was that new to the family. That's great.
Absolutely. So thank you.
Well,
and it's maiden voyage.
Well, I'm glad you guys are having fun and showing everybody that boating is a family lifestyle for sure.
Absolutely. Thanks, Stuart.
You got it.
All right.
So back out on the waterways here as we pass through Bimini Harbour. And remember, what's great about Bimini is that all of the local attractions are very, very close. You don't have to go more than 15 or 20 minutes to get to any of these popular boating hotspots. So whether it's snorkeling at the Sapona or feeding the stingrays at Honeymoon Harbour or doing what we're going to do today here and just beach the boats on the North Bimini, you're talking 15, 20 minutes in any direction is really all it takes. There's only one other location that some people like to go to. It's way north of Bimini at the Great Isaac Light. It's more of about a half hour, maybe 45-minute boat ride, and it's certainly worth doing when the conditions are a little more favorable. Eric, we had a great ride yesterday, 2 or 3 foot, just as we called it. We got a chance to leave a little later, which I think everyone appreciated, but I think everything went really smoothly. Getting here, clearing customs quickly, getting most of us getting checked in, and then getting out and seizing the day. We got out to the anchorage, Honeymoon Harbour, fed the stingrays. I think the boat ran great.
Yeah, I mean, everything was great, everything was smooth. We were doing 50, 55 miles an hour the whole way.
And we were heavily loaded, weren't we?
Oh yeah, we were way overloaded.
But that's the thing about this 43, with 10 people, luggage for 10 people, drinks for the weekend, 600 gallons of fuel, and we were just cruising away at 55, no problem. And we got a little bit quick at the end too, didn't we?
Yeah, at the end we did a little over 80, just for fun for a second.
That was 80, okay. That's because it felt like 79, I wasn't sure. So today, a little raft up. I think we're going to burn very little fuel today, but we're probably going to try to clean that cooler out. I think that's important.
Yeah, get some of that weight out of there.
But I think the Midnight owners are having a pretty good time from what I can see. You know, just walking around, I've been getting a lot of compliments and saying that, you know, they're really happy that we did it. They're already thinking about the next one. So that's good that you guys finally decided to, you know, step up and do something cool for your owners. I know that they appreciate it.
Yeah, I think everybody's really happy. The food last night was awesome.
Wasn't it great?
Big spread.
So I think it's a start to something that's going to probably be got a great future to it, no question about it.
Yeah, I think we're talking about manual events.
You know, the thing about Midnight Express is that, and especially the people that are going to the 43s, you know, they're set up with enough fuel. They can run the entire Bahamas and back without even getting fuel. Pretty amazing. So, but all right. Well, thanks for everything. Appreciate you guys letting the Florida Powerboat Club get involved, and it was good to see some of these people having a great time. And here we are at our Saturday raft up location at the North Beach. So we're still really on Resorts World Bimini property. Essentially, it's along their beach, so we still have access to their facilities. We're going to get the boats anchored. It's important to remember to get anchors positioned not only off the bow, speaking of the bow, but to have them off the stern as well. And that's what happened here. That's why one of us has turned around the opposite way. That's Eric's boat. And the reason for that is that we were able to use our bow anchor to stabilize the raft up so the boats would stay in one position. And I do advise all boaters, remember, you need to have a good bow anchor, which obviously every Midnight Express does, but you also need to have a nice side anchor. I suggest a lightweight Fortress anchor in a bag with about 50 feet of line. That's all you need. And all that's going to do is stabilize the stern of the boat so it doesn't swing, because it's always nice to position the stern of the boat towards the beach, because that's where the shallower water is, and then you can jump on and off the boat, and I think it just works out well to do it that way. But you can see what we did here to stabilize the raft, and that way we didn't swing around so much. Great shots here from Ben with the drone as the boats gather up. And you got to love these Midnight Express, especially these brand new 43s, all of them with quad Mercury 400R Verados, one of us with 5, the boat I'm on, and I think Rick's boat is the Duchess. It's got 5 400Rs as well. And Pleasure and Play showed up. He came all the way from Nassau as well. That's Captain John Bruce. I honestly cannot remember the name of the gentleman who he's running it for, but they had a very spectacular crew of spirited ladies, and they entertained us all day long. There's Captain Jordan, another boat that came all the way from Nassau. That was Roman James, a nice gentleman that I met. And that's what was cool about this event, because here we are rendezvousing in Bimini, and we had 2 or 3 boats coming out of Boca, about 10 boats coming out of South Florida, out of Miami area, and then boom, all of a sudden there's 2 or 3 boats that come over from Nassau. So I thought that was kind of interesting about the format, and it really speaks to the Midnight Express brand that these boats are everywhere, you know. And you have an event, you say you call Midnight owners to get together, and all of a sudden these guys are coming from all different directions. I think that was really kind of cool, in my opinion, to see all these boats arrive and be a part of this wonderful weekend.
Me llamo Tokio. Me llamo Tokio. Me llamo Tokio. Me llamo Tokio.
So while the rest of us were all picnicking here on the boats and having a little beverage, Tony Zielinski and his crew were out fishing, as you can see these fabulous dolphin, and they shared this video with us of them fishing, and they went out maybe 30 miles offshore and caught a whole bunch of dolphin. And I thought this was fantastic, because while we were just hanging out on the beach and lounging around, they're out bringing in dinner, and they got some nice fish without a doubt. And I remembered from a day earlier when I saw all the rods in the holders as they crossed over, and I thought, oh, that's just for show. They're never going to go fishing. And here they are bringing it home. Team Real Easy, that's REEL, and they're making it look real easy to be able to just go out for a couple of hours and land some of these amazing fish. But the timing of their arrival at the raft up was off by, probably about a half hour, because just before they arrived to show us this big catch, we had already had a barbecue on Roger Brown's 43. There he is there, Chef Roger. And nobody had any food in their coolers, just a lot of booze. And Roger says, hey, anybody hungry? And he pulls out a bunch of Bubba burgers and hot dogs and fed about 20 people. So thanks, Roger. We really appreciate it. And seeing these shots, I think we can all agree that this is probably one of the nicest collections of Midnight Express boats in one place at one time. The only thing missing was the flagship of the fleet, the new 60 P. DeMar. Eric was hopeful that the boat would come, but I think something happened with the owner at the last minute and wasn't able to come to Bimini with us, but that would have been really taking the show to the next level. But we'll just wait for the next poker run to see the 60P tomorrow while we enjoy time on the 43 with the 5 Mercury Racing 400s. And here's probably the best shot we've had so far of Rick Simmons and his family on board Duchess, which is a 43 with 5 Mercury Racing 400s that have been flashed. They had a very spirited team, and high five for bringing along the baby. And as always, our tradition to get together in the early evening for a cocktail social here in the lobby of the Resorts World Hilton. There's Rick and his wife and the little baby, and everyone really had a wonderful time. I want to thank Harris and Eric Glazer for really, making the effort to pull this event together. And this was our last chance to all get together for a drink to really rehash all the memories and what a great time we had. Some nice sushi in the lobby, and of course the bar is right there. This is a great hangout because you're right in the middle of the resort and everybody's coming and going in all different directions. The sushi bar and the restaurant is right there in the lobby. Then there's another restaurant beside that. So this tends to be, ground central for the Resorts World Hilton. Everybody hangs out and congregates in this area in this beautiful lobby. I love hanging out here. I could stay here for hours at a time and just watch all the people coming and going, and such a comfortable vibe here. But just a wonderful finish to a great day. We're going to cut everybody loose tonight and have dinner and go as they wish. Some people got on golf carts and drove into town and went to Edith's Pizza to get some seafood pizza. Others went further south into Allistown to have dinner at other locations, while several just stayed here on property. But we all got a chance to let our hair down later in the evening in the casino. I ran into my friend Kristen, the blonde here with the blue top, and her fiance, Captain Mike. They're on a azimuth here, cruising around, and they had a bunch of crazy friends having a good time. I think there was a bachelorette party. But this is the kind of fun you're going to have here at Resorts World Bimini on any given night. And waking up Sunday morning, getting ready for that crossing back to the mainland, checking out Lee Grammis and his crew on board this really beautiful 43 Midnight Quad 350 Verados. He's from Ohio, and I understand he's got a new boat coming real soon. So checking in with all the crew here. Here's Richard and his wife on their 37-foot Midnight Express. They put on a good show coming over, and he shows no fear as he pounds those waves in that 37. Checking out the breeze, you can see a very strong breeze out of the east now. So we are going to have a bumpy ride back. I think some of us would rather be flying right now as the Tropic Airways lands, but I think some people actually were planning to get on that airplane to fly home. Smart move on the part of some ladies. But this Midnight Express is a rugged hull, and we certainly have done this crossing many, many times. And while it can be bumpy, I think it's important to know that every boat is different and every crew situation is different. So you really have to gauge how you ride back with, how many people you have on board and what their comfort zone is for waves or for bumps. How big of a boat do you have? Do you have a 43 or do you have a 37? These are the key issues that you really need to take inventory of. And you really can't do it until you get out there and see how things go. But every captain is responsible for safe operation of his own boat, and he's responsible for his crew as well. So I think it's important to realize, especially with center console boats, that if you're the captain or you're the driver of the boat and you're at the helm and you've got a co-driver with you or a navigator with you, you're up there in the comfort of that helm behind that windshield and sitting in a bolster seat. But not everybody else has that comfort. And I would urge all captains to remember that when you're driving a boat in these rougher conditions, that how's your crew doing? Like, where are they seated? Are they seated in the front of the boat? Well, they're going to be bouncing a lot more. If they're seated at the back of the boat, they're going to be getting a lot of wind and certainly a lot of that spray and splash that's coming off the gunnels because of the waves. So you see, that wave just hit the windshield and nobody got wet, but everybody in the back of the boat got very wet. So, woo, here's a good one. I remember that one very well. So it's important as a captain to remember that your crew's safety and their comfort is the most important thing as you cross over. But we all made it safely. Eric did a great job of commanding that 43 on the way back. We're all smiling and happy, and some of the crew members just a little soggy, but that's all a part of boating. And that's a wrap now for the first annual Midnight Express owners, Bimini Rendezvous. As we clear customs here at Hulliver Marine Center, I want to thank Eric Glazer and Harris Glazer for having the vision to pull this event together and give Midnight Express owners an exciting, adventurous weekend, and really to meet some of their fellow Midnight Express owners from all over the country. I think that was really a home run for everyone. But really to Eric and Harris for taking a leap of faith with the Florida Powerboat Club. I was joined by my son Tyler, who really dug in, and I hope that with the small team we had and our photo and video crew that we were able to deliver a great experience to all of you and capture it all here on our YouTube channel, Florida Powerboat Club. So we got a lot of views on the first episode, 170,000 altogether. So let's hope that this episode will get another 170,000 also, as we've got so many fans out there who love the Midnight Express product, and I think rightfully so. But for the next one, guys, we are going to plan ahead for May of 2020. I've spoken with the owners of Midnight Express now, and we're going to plan it for early May. We haven't got the dates confirmed yet, but if you want to join us, start thinking about that now and start planning ahead. And for those viewers out here on our YouTube channel, our next episode will feature episode number 1 of the Fort Myers Poker Run, which took place April of 2019. Out of Fort Myers Beach. 3 days of powerboating fun. We had about 35 teams registered. So keep watching, everybody, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll get all the updates and an email every time a new episode is released. You can follow the Florida Powerboat Club on Facebook and on Instagram. Check out all of these channels as well as our club website, flpowerboat.com, where you can get all the information about upcoming events and club membership. Meanwhile, this is Stu Jones. Thanks for watching. Remember, guys, be safe out there, be courteous to your fellow boater, and always wear your life jackets. See you next time.